Everybody, hope everybody's having a good time and a good day. Let's get the show on the road. It's your boy King Bean, and welcome back to another show, another video, and a brand new episode of the podcast of King Bean's Court. And today, I just want to talk about some God of War. But before we get into that, I hope everybody's doing well. I had a pretty good day today. Day was all right. Did my little treatment today. Got some pretty decent news. Everything went well today. Today was a good day, if I must say, like my man Ice Cube. But I ain't gonna even lie to you, man. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long tonight. So most of y'all are watching the rebroadcast. If y'all watching, if you're new to the channel, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button. You're gonna like this. You know you're gonna like this anyway. So yeah, before I even get into it, I just want to say, man, today I ain't gonna even lie to you. I didn't want to do this podcast today. The reason why I didn't want to do it is because I want to play God of War. But you know what? I gotta stay disciplined, man. Gotta stay disciplined. I don't even know where to begin with this game. I haven't beaten the game yet. I've been playing this game. I wouldn't say pretty much nonstop, but when I get on the game, I don't get off for a couple hours. And I haven't had this much fun playing a video game in a long time. That's really given me this kind of joy, I guess. I mean, I played Legend of Zelda on my Switch, and it was fun. It's still fun. I still haven't beaten that one yet either. It's just so much to do on there. But this God of War game, oh my God, this is the reason why I love gaming. This is the reason why I love gaming. I'm just going to go through a few things of what I think about God of War and why I think you should play this game or buy this game. Um, Man, it's one of the best games I've ever played, and I'm really, really enjoying it. One of the facts of the game, how I know that I'm really enjoying this game, and I'm going to talk about it now, is that other than the easy stuff everybody's been saying, I'm pretty much parroting what other people have said because the superlatives for this game is amazing. The graphics, oh my God, they are just, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking what they've done with this game, with the scale of the game, how Kratos looks, how Atreus looks, how all these different characters look. I don't know much about the Norse mythology. I've been watching, I don't know if you ever watched that show, American Gods, but that's a very good show. I'm waiting on season 2. You should go see season 1. I know it's on Showtime, but you should see season 1. I hope they help me get season 2 out there. Season 1 was fantastic. But basically, it's the Norse mythology. And it has, talking about Odin, Thor, and all these different guys that's in there from that mythology. And that's where they're taking it from this realm. And so far, like playing the story, like people will call it Dad of War. Yeah, it is Dad of War, but it's it's so enthralling to see how Kratos is now as a character versus what he was in the first three. I only played the first three God of Wars. I never played the. I played the Ascension. I rented it, didn't play much of it, and I never played the PSP games, but or the Vita games or whatever it's called. But this is a departure from all the other God of Wars that you're looking for as far as combat and as far as way Kratos acts. And you understood he was on a revenge tale. This time it's not a revenge tale. It's more so of being a father. You got the father-son dynamic and trying to grant your wife last wish. I know that shouldn't be a spoiler. I already said that right pretty much at the beginning, what you're doing in the game. Pretty much everybody said that in the reviews. But it's almost like a coming of age, and I like this Kratos. I really do. I really do. I've heard some people talk about how they didn't like this Kratos voice because I think everybody's used to. I think it's a guy named used to TC Carson being the voice of Kratos. If you didn't know, that's the guy who used to be on Living Single. He used to play Kyle. Kyle. I'm trying to do my Kyle impression, but I can't do it. If you ever watched Living Single, that was a great show in the 90s. Great show with Queen Latifah, Maxine, I forget her last name, and I forget the light skinned chick that's on there, and you know, and Overton, you know what I mean? John Hinton, I think that's his real name. But he played Kratos. He did the voice of Kratos for a long time, and that's always been the voice. You always used to that angry, snarling voice, and you knew he was angry. He did play a little melodramatic. I don't say melodramatic, but he did play a more subdued stuff if you played God of War 3. In God of War 2, he wasn't angry all the time, but pretty much he was angry 90% of the time. This Kratos, he does get angry, but he's more of a comic. He's more of a to me, this Kratos is more of a mature Kratos. You know, as everybody gets older, you're more mature. Even though you're angry, you're still a badass, and people know that you're a badass, but he doesn't flip out at the drop of a hat. He doesn't really flip out. He tries to control his anger. He tries to forget his past. It's almost like that movie Carlito's Way. Every time they pull him out, they always pull him back in. Every time he tries to leave, they pull him right back in. But it's a good story so far. So far, what I'm playing. Um, the combat in the game, it takes a while to get used to, but I think some of you guys, if you played Assassin's Creed and used to the shoulder buttons, when I say the shoulder buttons, of course, I mean the L1, the L2, the R1, the R2 button. That's what you use to mainly attack, and the face buttons to dodge. That's pretty much what Assassin's Creed was like. Like, I guess they said Dark Souls. I didn't play much of that. I didn't like Dark Souls. Never been a Souls fan. I didn't like too much of Bloodborne, but it's similar in that fact. The fighting is still frenetic, but it's slowed down. It's really slowed down, and you really have to measure your shots. Not so much, but you kind of got to really think about what you're doing. And Atreus is very good, especially later on in the game when he really can assist you in these games. He's really, really good about that. I think I think I think the way they put him in this game was amazing. I think the way they did it was it's an escort mission almost in a sense, but he's not a hindrance. You don't have to worry about him dying. You know, you play some games where you're doing an escort mission. Oh my God, your character's dying after you doing all this work. And it's like, yo, then you die, then you're like, yo, man, come on, man. So you have to constantly babysit that. You don't have to babysit Atreus. He really helps you out a lot, especially some of those enemies that you go up against. And sometimes you really need his shock arrows or the blue arrows, or when he called for wolves and stuff. I'm only spoiling that stuff for you, but some of his attributes that he have to help you win these battles. And believe me, the game is pretty difficult. Now, right now, I'm playing on on a normal mode, but I'm going to replay this game again. That's one thing I'm looking forward to is replaying God of War. I want to play God of War again, and I want to replay it on a different difficulty because some spots I feel like I'm overpowered. Sometimes it just feels just right. But that's due to me farming too. I'm farming a lot. What I mean by farming is by going out doing all these side missions. I'm doing a lot of side missions, and the side missions are fun. They are fun, especially getting to combat. But it's fun. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves with this game is a big nitpick, but that's nothing to do with the game. That's nothing to do with the game at all. It's just me. It's me personally. I just don't like puzzles. I don't like puzzles in games. I just never do. I slows down the pace, and I get it. You change the pace, and I understand. It's a lot of puzzles in this game. They're mostly they're environmental puzzles, and a lot of the puzzles to get the treasures and things of that nature. But that's just me. I just don't like puzzles. They're not bad. Well, if I'm telling you they're not bad, they're not bad. I'm just saying. I personally don't like them. That's one thing I don't like about Zelda is the freaking puzzles. I was like, hey, come on, man. I just want to play the game. I don't want to do all these puzzles. Give me the treasure. Give me something to fight. I'd rather have something to fight. Maybe that speaks to my intelligence. Okay. It could be that, but that's just a personal pet peeve of mine. But the puzzles they're really good. They're interesting. There's some of them are brain teasers, but they're not a make or break for this game. They're really good, integral part of the game, and it's not too bad. It's not really, honestly, it's not too bad. I like the way this game kind of got RPG elements in this game. Most games have RPG elements in the games anyway, but this game really has it. It's a little bit more in depth, not super in depth like something like The Witcher or anything like that. But I see myself spending a lot of time comparing stats of my armor abilities, all my different armor, my gauntlets, my waist, the Leviathan axe, unlocking the skill trees and adding more moves, and which is highly important, especially like early on. You don't get a lot of moves. You have to unlock this, and your experience points start really ramping up later in the game when you're playing, so you can start unlocking more of these moves, which helps you out a ton. Helps you out a ton. But I spent a lot of time in there. looking at all the gear I get, all the loot that I get. I look and say, hey, is this worth it? Is this worth going moving up this stat? This stat might be a little bit better, but with these two gem sockets that I have, you also have gem sockets for your armor and also for you sometimes I think for your weapon too as well. And sometimes it can open up 2 or 3, 4 slots, and you can throw more charms and talismans and all that stuff in there to help you get a stat boost, which is good. Which is good because sometimes you really need it, and you can counter tailor your Kratos to fight like you want him to fight. You know, it's still going to be brutal. It's still going to be violent, but you can kind of tailor how you want him to fight, what kind of attributes you can have from throwing your axe, throwing your like your shield, doing a different move on the way when you're coming back doing a combo. Um, the frost, the because he has ice magic for pretty much out of that axe, so you got frost that can frost and can hurt enemies, and also you can go bare knuckles. Go bare knuckles and beat a fool down and get into an execution. Some of the executions they get a little bit of repetitive because you've seen them a lot. But there are some other executions that the game doesn't tell you. That's with the Leviathan X. If you get a kill on an enemy by using, I think the R2, the power button, sometimes when you're finishing them off, you get an execution right there where they're cutting off heads and slamming the dude down, taking the axe through his chest. It's pretty brutal. It is a brutal game. But it's one of those games like again, it's a little bit more slower pace, but it's still just as fun as all get out, man. I just can't wait to get back on this game. I can't wait to play it again. And my man Work Birdie, he helped me out last night big time on the game. And I really appreciate that. Helped me solve a puzzle and grab this treasure. That was outstanding. I don't know why my laptop keeps turning off. It shouldn't go into sleep mode. I don't know. I hate this laptop. I need to get a new one. um, but another thing that bothers me about this game is the fact that some people won't even play this game because they're an Xbox only gamer, which makes absolutely no sense. This game is a great game. No matter what the platform is on, it's a freaking great game. Some people downplaying this game. Some people who primarily play on Xbox don't want to play this game because they feel like they're betraying Xbox. I'm like, why? You shouldn't have a loyalty to that. If that's stopping you from playing this game, then I don't know what your problem is, honestly. I don't know if you're really a real gamer or not, but if this is a game you should have in your collection. If you don't own a PlayStation, if you got the money, go buy a PlayStation. Get the vanilla PlayStation 4 and play this game. Play this game. This is the kind of game. Listen, this is not only just for visual fidelity, the combat is outstanding, story is great, the new chapter, new beginning. This is a game. This is a game I think that everybody would love playing. I can't even do it justice by speaking on God of War. I can't do it justice, but I'm so glad that I was able to play this kind of game. Just so it's just so outstanding to play this game. This is the kind of game that again everybody should play. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read a message too at the same time. Just another thing here too, again with the visuals. I mean, not with the visual, with the exploring. It doesn't get boring. To me, it's not boring. I've heard some people did say it was boring. It's not boring. I love it. You get on that boat, you go find these little things, find out these little secret areas when you get into there. Sometimes those monsters, when you get in there, they're OP. They're way OP. They're like 3 or 4 levels ahead of you. If you played Assassin's Creed, the new one, that's Assassin's Creed Origin. You know when you ran across the what's the deaf guys? I can't think of the name right now. That was on the oxen, whatever. For the most part, are riding on a horse, and they search for you if they like the Brazil too much, and they start coming in. They can kill you one hit. Pretty much, is what these guys can do. You'll be looking at the same kind of characters that you've been fighting, and they can kill you pretty much in one hit. So some of them you have to go back and level up, but you can kill them. It's not saying you can't kill them. You can kill them, just like in Assassin's Creed Origin. You can kill them, but it's going to take a long while. It's going to take a long while, especially if you got uh characters with some kind of power trait that can break your shield, that can break your blocks. And you also have those nightmares, which is they are for real nightmares. They jump into your characters and give them more strength or something like that. Or if you plan on a God on give me God of War more mode, some of these enemies, the lower level enemies, can regenerate. So it gives you a real challenge on how to dispatch these enemies pretty quick. And you got some wolves on there. Yeah, they got wolves. I ain't gonna spoil nothing else for anybody else who haven't played it and got so far in the game, but there's some other interesting characters in this game that you fight. Uh, some of the boss battles, some of the mini boss battles, you fight some of the same looking enemies with different elements. That's kind of but some of the major big boss battles, they do a real good job of it. They do a real good job of when you see it. It's not as many as God of War 3 as far as the like the major gigantic, like when you fought the Colossus or whatever that thing is. Um, Kratos' grandfather, the dude who was eating his children. It's an old myth. I can't think of the dude name right now, but you're not fighting a whole bunch of those like in this game, or you're not fighting a whole bunch of titans. At least so far from what I've seen. Now, like I said, I haven't beat the game yet and completed the game yet, but I'm really, really enjoying this game and I'm playing. So I ain't got enough. I've gotten pretty far in the game. My guy's pretty leveled up pretty good right now. So so it's just one of those things. Like I said, with some of the boss battles, kind of a nitpick, but it's nothing to deter you from playing this game. And again, I know I'm doing this free promotion for PlayStation, but they really knocked it out of the park with this game. I know again, like I know some people may not want to play this game because well, it's a hype game, it's really hype, and I don't want to play this game because it's so popular. You know how people are. Like a lot of people who say they don't like Call of Duty but buy Call of Duty anyway. You don't want to play it now because the hype is too big. Listen, this game lives up to the hype. Very few things live up to the hype. Very few things. LeBron James versus he really lived up to the hype. I grew up in the Michael Jordan era. And I'm telling you, LeBron James from high school all the way up, he's lived up to the hype. Even though he only have 6 rings, he's pretty much lived up to the hype. Kobe Bryant was another one. He lived up to the hype. Kobe Bryant. I remember when he first came in, because the Lakers are my favorite team. He first came in his first year, in his first game, he went like 0 for 19. I thought this guy was going to be a bust. He ended up being one of the greatest basketball players of all time. This game lives up to the hype. This game is the reason why you play a PlayStation. This is the reason why you buy a PlayStation. This game is a reason, if you are a gamer, why you play games. This is why. For stuff like this. And also this game's getting some backlash because it's got that feel. If you played Last of Us or Uncharted, it can have you reminiscent of that, but the games are still they're totally different. But it's a beautiful aesthetic to me. I don't know what other people want. I've heard people complain and get angry over the fact that, well, it's not chaotic and frenzy where you're fighting 40 enemies at one time on a screen. Don't get me wrong. That was great. I think it was great for that time and that era in gaming. Games have to evolve. They have to evolve. It's one of those things. I said, us being fans, it's one of the funniest things that I see from fans everywhere you go, no matter what it is. We say we want change, and then when we get change, we don't want change. You feel me? You feel me? So if if that's turning you off from buying this game because it's not like the first 3 to 6 God of Wars that you've ever played, that's a terrible reason not to play this game. And I'm telling you, it is. I understand if you miss God of War 1, 2, and 3, that play style, but guess what? You still got 1, 2, and 3 Ascension and all that stuff to play if you want to go play it. It's a new era in games. It's a new era. It's an evolved game. It's a much better placed game. This is a game for you as a gamer. If you like me, you've been gaming for over 20 years or even maybe over 10 years. I think this is what game's supposed to do. It's supposed to evolve. It's supposed to get better. It's supposed to change the narrative, change it up a bit. I mean, you want to keep you want to give your nod to the old school, but you kind of need to change it up a bit and you see what you got. You got a masterpiece. It's not perfect. There's no game that's out there that is perfect, but this game is outstanding. Just like when people say the Legend of Zelda was terrible because it's not like the other Zeldas. It's crazy. I've been playing it. It's outstanding, at least in my opinion. This God of War game is outstanding. It's outstanding. This is, again, I will state again, this is the reason why you are a gamer. This is the reason why we play games. This game right here is something that everybody should at least play once. But now, if you get in the game, now follow me. If you follow me this far, if you did get in the game, if you're thinking about getting the game, if you're on the fence about getting it, understand the game starts off slow. It does start off slow, just like The Witcher 3. It starts off slow, but it's not as slow as The Witcher 3. But it does start off slow, but it's basically teaching you how to play the game, the new mechanics, especially when most people probably played the other God of War and you kind of got used to that. And they was playing it before this God of War came out. But once it started picking up, man, it really picks up. And it's well worth it. It's well worth it to soak all the stuff in, to soak in all the goodness that Santa Monica has done. So I have to give them a standing ovation and say, bravo, bravo. You guys did your thing. Word up. Well, I'm cutting this a little bit short tonight because to be honest with you, I'm finna go play this God of War. I really want to play it. I mean, I'm sitting up here fiending like a crack fiend right now. Because I can't wait to play it, man. I haven't had this kind of joy in a long time. It's a lot of joy playing this video games. Most of the time we play video games and you play it, it's not really fun to play, and you play it and we just play it just to play it, you know what I mean? And sometimes we just play it just to play it. I don't know why the laptop keep turning off. But you just play games just to play it because it's just something to do, something to get through, something to say that we completed or something to say that we done. But this time I've actually have joy in playing this game. This is a great game. It's a great game. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. This is a great game. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button. It helps out the channel a whole bunch. And I thank you for taking your time out to listen to me for a little while. I really appreciate that because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend it with me, and I really appreciate that. Well, anyway, it's your boy King Bean, and I'm about to get out of here, and I'll holler at you dudes later. One love. Peace. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.